My name is Chris with the Empire Real Estate YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to go through a complete tutorial for wholesalers that are interested in using Propstream to find more wholesale deals, off-market deals, and things that you can then turn over to your buyers list and start making profit on. So in this video, we have Burton from Propstream, and he's going to walk us through some different lists that you can use to find some really good wholesale deals to grow your real estate business. Now, if you do want to walk through this with us and you don't have Propstream yet, there is an affiliate link down below with a 7-day free trial. So you can download that at no risk and walk through this with us as we go through this tutorial to see if you can find some really good list of potential wholesale properties that you can start working and start generating more revenue for your business. So let's dive right into it. So today we have Burton from Propstream, and he's going to basically dive into this with us and show us how wholesalers and fix and flip investors can find more property deals using Propstream. He's going to go through some lists and different things you can do to identify those hot properties that will help you build your business. So Burton, welcome to the channel.
Hey, man. Thank you so much for having me. Yep. I'm honored. I love sharing people what I know. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So
Awesome.
Yeah, if you're a fix and flipper, if you're a wholesaler, here are some best practices I'd like to share with you when you're utilizing Propstream. So let's go ahead and pull up my screen here real quick. And if you saw our previous video, which I encourage, if you're not familiar with Propstream, it's going to kind of give you a breakdown of what we do. But if you did see that, great. Here's what you want to do if you're a fix and flipper or wholesaler. Obviously, start with the search page. We need you to pull up your market. So county, city, a zip code, or that draw search feature. But once you pull up your market, let's just say today your market is Denver, Colorado. Again, we're going to show you all the properties that are on one of our 19 categories, but go immediately into our filter. Yet again, we have 19 options in our drop-down menu and over 120 filters for you to choose from. So yes, I get it. One can easily get lost here. So to make things a little bit easier for you, I created a little PowerPoint that I believe can help you when you're building a list in Propstream. So I believe there's two ways to pull a list in Propstream. The first way is the traditional method. So if you're a fix and flipper, if you're a wholesaler, you definitely want to at least follow these guidelines. And feel free to add or take away as you start utilizing it more and more and get better at it. But here's the traditional search. You're going to pull up your market. First thing you're going to do is you're going to pick a list, and then you're going to make sure that list is off market. That's step number 2. And then step number 3, because you're a fix and flipper, because you're a wholesaler, we need to make sure it has equity in there. No equity, no assignment fee, no equity, no margin for that fix and flip revenue. And number 4, because Propstream collects commercial buildings and office spaces and all sorts of types of properties, you've got to let us know what type of property characteristics you want and owner characteristics as well. As I mentioned in the previous video, the list you build with us will most likely be the list that's going to call you back. So who do you want calling you back, right? Corporate owners, individual owners. So this is the traditional step, right? Pick a list, off-market, equity, property, and owner characteristics. So when you're in your market, Denver today being the market, go into our filter. And again, under quick list choices, pick a list. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's the best list, Burton? There isn't one. But I will say this, certain lists may require more focus than others. Like if I'm a new fix and flipper, I probably won't do an auction because I don't know if I can close a deal in less than 30 days or 45 days, right? If I'm a realtor, maybe a new one. Maybe pre-foreclosure may not be the best avenue because some pre-foreclosures get auctioned off in 6 months, 8 months, a year or less. So if you need time to market this property and do open houses, again, they are motivated sellers, but they just may not be for you at the time for your level of expertise. So you might need to dial back. Okay, well, what happens before pre-foreclosure? How about someone with a lien, like a tax lien? Because after 3 or 4 years not paying your tax liens, it can go to a tax sale, aka an auction. So let's start there. It's not a pre-foreclosure yet. It's a lien. That means I can work with these homeowners. So that's step 1. We've picked a list. And there's no right or wrong list. Just some will have levels of focus, higher levels of focus, or more time or less time. But after you pick your list, what's the second step? MLS status. Go here, and where it says on market, hit no. We do not want these properties listed. And as a bonus, Propstream included this new status called never listed. started collecting data about 7-8 years ago now. And so we'll go back about 8 years and make sure none of these properties have MLS history in them. Then third step, well, I'm a fix and flipper today, or I'm a wholesaler today. Got to have equity. So I can go to the equity info section and apply my equity percentage. I understand you didn't pay your taxes. I understand you have a lien. I understand you're off market, but I still needed to have at least 60% in equity or more to work with you. Some honorable mentions here: estimated value. Let's say you don't like houses worth $500,000 or more, then let us know you want up to $400,000 properties that didn't pay their taxes. And then finally, step 4, what are your property characteristics and ownership info that you want? So for property characteristics, most of us are probably going to be in the residential space. So click on that. And then you get to choose, condos, townhouses, single family. And don't hesitate to put beds and bathrooms. Like if you're a fix and flipper, maybe you want properties built between 1980 and 2000. That way you're not pulling properties built last year. And what are you going to do? Fix and flip the washer and dryer? Probably not important, right? So feel free to apply your year build, or maybe you just want 2000 and before. So please apply your property characteristics. And then finally, to wrap up that part 4, ownership info. I want these tax liens or liens that are owned by individuals that have owned a property for maybe 5 years minimum or more, that are out of state or have multiple properties. So this is where you can get really dialed in. And then let's not forget, you could stack if you want, or because we're looking for liens, we can even be more specific by going to the liens section, specifying what liens we're looking for. We did say taxes, so let's just make sure we have tax liens. And then even putting a lien amount or a recording date. So these are the 4 steps. And you can add or take away. But the 4 steps that you should focus on from the get-go is the traditional search. Search your market, and then pick a list. Make sure it's off market, has the equity you need so you can perform your exit strategy and your property and owner characteristics. And then once you're done with that, you can now hit close, and there are your properties with motivation that are off market with equity and just the property and owner type you're looking for. From there, go ahead and hit save. And just like in our previous video, we talked about how you can export these properties, how you can skip trace to get contact information, and even how to market to them, aka setting up a website, sending postcards and emails. And that right there, my fix and flippers and wholesaler friends, is how you can approach the first method of building your properties. Now, before I let you guys go, here's what also makes Propstream extremely valuable. There's a new way of building leads. I call it building situations. See, with Propstream, we don't just force you to choose a list. But if you are going to build situations, here's what I recommend. Make sure step 1, it's off market. Oh, sorry. All right, let me get to that next page. Make sure it's off market. Make sure it has the equity you need, and then the property and owner characteristics you want, and then create that situation. Okay, so I'm going to emphasize 1, 2, and 3 sound very familiar because I stole it from the traditional search. But today, I want you to make sure that when you're building situations, off market, equity, property and owner type, and then that situation. So if we're in Denver and we're building our own situation, I'm going to go in and filter. And before I do anything, I need it off market. I need it never listed, just like we did before. I still need it with 60% in equity under $400,000. I still want single family properties built before 2000. And I still want individual owners with 5 years. Now that I have those 3 steps, right? Off market, equity, property, owner type. Now I can create a situation. And you know what? The situation I want today is perhaps someone with 3 mortgages on their property. Like, why would you have 3 mortgages on your property? Might be over leveraged, right? You have 3 mortgages, but you still have 60% in equity, so we could still talk. Or instead of 3 mortgages, rising interest rates have been a big thing in the last few years. So show me everybody with an adjustable rate mortgage, because these new monthly payments might start being a factor for you, and that might cause you to default, but you haven't defaulted yet, so that's good. Let's talk about the situation again, building a situation. Let's talk about the situation and see how I can resolve it for you before bankruptcy, before pre-foreclosure, before any of that stuff, right? Here's another thing I saw or I hear a lot. Interest rates are high right now. Nobody wants to sell because it's at 7, almost 8% right now. So everyone I'm talking to has a 2, 3%. They don't want to talk to me. Well, how about someone with a minimum interest rate of 9% or more, right? To them, an 8, 7% is going to be great. So why don't we reach out to these 12% and say, hey, have you heard about the interest rates right now? They're at like 8%. I see that you might have something higher. How can I help you? Maybe list your home and get you into something with a shorter rate. That's building situations. Notice I didn't choose a list at all. So that's what makes Propstream very, very valuable, is the ability to build your own scenario. So as a fix and flipper, as a wholesaler, that's going to be very, very big, because that's going to allow you to get ahead of your competition who's used to just pulling things the traditional way. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but in an inflated market, you might want to start considering situation building. But that's it. And Chris, thank you so much for giving me the time to share everyone how to build their first list with Propstream, or how to craft scenarios with us as well.
Yeah, that was super helpful, especially in today's market where there's, less transactions going on. Like you said, being able to kind of narrow down to that interest rate situation, or even dive into certain situations using list, it's huge. It really does make a difference. So if you want to check this out and you want to try it out, make sure to click the link down below. There's an affiliate link where you can try it out for 7 days at no cost. So any questions you have, drop it in the comment section below and we'll do our best to get back to you. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for watching the Empire of Real Estate YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about real estate and entrepreneurship. So if you like that kind of content and you haven't subscribed yet, smash the like button and subscribe. And before we go, there isn't a video over here that we think you'll like, so be sure to check that out as well. Thanks so much for tuning in, and you have a great day.